Okay, welcome everyone. This is Thursday Thoughts, and I am here today with one of the group sponsors. So what you guys may not know is that to run a group takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. You know that, right, Heather?
Yeah.
So this year we've taken on some sponsors, and the Designers Collaborative is one of them. And I only take sponsors of people who I completely trust, their business model, who they are, and I've gotten no complaints about their company or their organization. And I am so happy to have you here with me today, Heather, and the Designers Collaborative. So tell everybody a little bit about what the Designers Collaborative is.
Okay, so that's a big one. So I created the Designers Collaborative. God, it's so funny because you don't think to write these things down. I think it was 2015, because I had a need in my design business for this. I was sourcing with retail stores, and I was trying to dabble into the design centers. And what I really discovered was that the way I'm going to make the most money on different jobs is through opening my accounts directly. Now, so this process started, and it became clear that to do it on your own isn't impossible. It's just extremely difficult and can be limiting. So I created basically a professional buying group. And with 5 of us, we all had an account to share. So now you've got 5 accounts rather than one. And
Right.
then, it grows from there. And so, yeah, so it's been a way to make the most profit and then get so much creative freedom in the product that you can source.
So let's talk about exactly, for those of you, there's newer designers in the group, there's seasoned designers in the group, and still people don't always know what a buying group is. I know from years ago when I was an art consultant, there was a group of designers here on Long Island that contacted me and said, we are a buying group and we want to come to your showroom, and could you present to us your services? And as a group, they had buying power and they wanted better prices from me. So basically, that's the key here, right? It's a group of designers who collaborate with each other professionally with a system you've created to share their resources with each other, correct?
Absolutely. Correct. Yes.
Okay.
It's power and numbers.
Okay, so when I hear the objection, but if I take my clients to a showroom local so they can sit on things, and I've been helped by that showroom, wouldn't it be?
Buy through that showroom.
Okay, thank you. I want to be clear from the beginning. This is not trying to circumvent any showroom that you have used and they've helped you, then you should be going there.
Yeah, no, I still have to bring, I have a local retail store that I really like to bring my clients to. I have a great relationship with the staff there and the owner of the place. And, there's not a one size fits all for every single client. And it's just that it is what it is. So that client that has to sit on it, or too many red flags, like she changes her mind too much, I think I'm taking them to the store. But this other client is trusting me. She doesn't have time for that. She doesn't want that. So I'm going to provide these things to her. And, so you price accordingly for that kind of thing.
Yes. And there are a ton of designers, a lot of my clients who don't live near a physical showroom either, right? And they've had to gain their knowledge from going to markets, going to High Point, going to Dallas market, Atlanta, all the different markets, Vegas, and sitting on getting the quality of the company. And then their clients actually trust them to give them that information and say, trust me, you're going to love the quality of this. And in that case, they can then use the Designers Collaborative to purchase from that company at a greater discount. So I just wanted to make sure we put that out there first. And I see Lene has already made a comment here. I'm part of this group and it has changed my business 100% for the better. Making money on furniture sales and design fees is the key to profitable business. Thank you, Lene. You just did my job for me. That is the key to a profitable business. So, all right. So Heather, tell everyone how you work and what you do to protect them. Because I have to tell you, I agree with you. There's many different clients. Some clients need to sit on things. There may be some companies that you want to have a direct account with. You can still be part of the Designers Collaborative and help other designers. So tell everyone how it works.
So we have a lot of structure in what we do, and that kind of sets us apart from other little smaller groups that might, be local, which is, something I tried to start. I tried to get into a local group of 3 designers, and they were very closed off. They were like, no.
No.
So I had to make my own, and I saw the benefit of, collaborating with more people. I think there's more power in the numbers, and there's no reason not to share and not to, that abundance mentality is something I really do believe in. So, so first we vet every person that comes in.
Okay.
Looking at their website, their social media. If they don't have that, if they're just graduating or they've been working for someone and they don't have, like, I just did my own house, but I don't have those photos yet. Show me what you do have. And, it might be mood boards and other things, but we need to know that they're professional working people that belong in the group.
Okay, so they can't join the Designers Collaborative unless they've been vetted and you know that they are a designer.
Correct, yes. And we need your resale number. And every state has a different word for that, resale certificate, whatever. But so my partner Tracy is the one who does the deep dive into, is this the right form? Is it really registered? Is it current? So those are 2 steps. And then the application also has our letter of agreement that spells out exactly how you are to behave, what is expected of every member, how quickly, an account holder will get back to you and have that order placed, and all of those things are in the letter of agreement that you sign in order to join. So we have the rules right off the bat. We vet them. Then you get into our shared Google Drive, which is where all of our amazing tools are and every price list. Okay. So
let me back up for a second.
Familiar.
Okay, let me just back up for a second.
Okay.
So if you join the Designers Collaborative, you are now a member that has access to every other designer's resource that they happen to be sharing, all the other furniture companies that they have accounts with, that they may be getting stocking dealer prices for, because they may have a physical location as well. Or even if they don't, they have an account that does a volume that gets them a greater discount. Now, as a member of the Designers Collaborative, you have access to those accounts, can order from those companies at a greater discount than you would be able to possibly by creating an account on your own, that you don't make the minimum dollar amount of an order, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so I join, I'm a designer, I have no accounts with anyone. I can still join and I can still, and it's what, $370 for an entire year?
Right. And the year starts, so if you join today, then July 1st of 2022 is when your next year is due.
Okay, so it's not a calendar year. It's from when you join. Okay, so I pay my $370. I am now part of the Designers Collaborative. I get access to this spreadsheet of how many right now do you have? Companies that give?
It's around 300.
Okay, name some of the bigger ones that people always want to.
Hancock and Moore, a very popular. Theodore Alexander, Design Master. We have American Leather, Taylor King. We have Sareed, Braxton Color, Four Hands, Fairfield Chair, Uttermost. I'm reading a list because they don't stick in my head.
Right, of course, there's so many.
Yeah, Universal, Zimmerman Chair, Lexington Home, Chelsea House, Mr. Brown, Vanguard, Ambella, Curry, Bernhardt, Masad, Woodbridge, I said that one already. Oh God, there's so many lighting companies, Visual Comfort.
Okay, I think this was a good selection. So
yeah.
I'm a designer. I don't have an account with any of those companies named, and you named about maybe 15 of 300. I can now go to the spreadsheet and see who owns that account, which designer has an account with that company, and then order through that designer.
Yep.
Through that designer then handles the order, the tracking, and letting me know what the status is, correct?
Correct. And so whatever their price point is, if it's stocking dealer, you get the stocking dealer price, but then you're going to pay that person 10% for their admin work that they do.
Okay, so let's go through the numbers. Let's try one round of numbers. Let's see if we can do this. Let me get my pen and paper. Okay, so let's say that they are purchasing a sofa that I'm just going to say is $3,000 through another Designers Collaborative account, right? So they're buying a $3,000 sofa through a different designer's account. They contact through the Designers Collaborative, that other designer. They say, I'd like to order this sofa to go to this location. It's $3,000, so they have to pay $300 to the designer whose account it is.
Right.
But how much would that sofa be retail, possibly?
Okay, so because I am terrible,
I have
my calculator.
I told you I was going to do this live.
Yeah, no, it's okay. $9,000 retail. But keep in mind, no one does retail. Like, this has never been a thing. It doesn't matter if you go to a physical store or you're buying it online. Everyone discounts off of that. So most places do a 30% discount. So actually what the client would wind up paying is like $6,300.
So you would say you would be able to charge a client $6,300, and you can still look them in the eye, which is what I teach, and I do my best to keep it at or under retail. So they shouldn't be able to find that sofa, hopefully, any other place, and you can do a quick Google to find out.
Right. I mean, even if somebody's a couple $100 less than that online, which is very possible, your client understands the benefit that they're getting with you. And when I sell the product at this discounted rate that pretty much everyone uses, this kind of standard, I tell them, you're not going to, you could maybe find it if you really dig, but it's not going to be much. I'm giving you the same price that you're going to find online or at the store, but you're also getting me at your home, placing it exactly where it goes. You can't put a price on that. So it pretty much stops all of the shopping. It
stops the shopping if you're able to keep it at or under retail, for sure. And you're able to, then you're paying the Designers Collaborative that yearly fee. And then you're paying the designer whose account you're ordering through a 10%. And you're still making $3,000 on one sofa. So
yeah, it's a no-brainer. You make the money back in one order. And the more expensive it is, the more profit you're going to make. You're not going to make as much on a lamp or accessories. The more expensive like a sectional is going to cost more than a sofa. So you're going to make more profit on that. It's just, that's how you have to think of it.
So talk about the other reasons why this makes so much sense. Like you said, there's other benefits to joining the Designers Collaborative besides increasing your profit on all the furniture you buy if you're buying without using a showroom and you're just, showing the clients a design board. They are saying, yes, change a couple of things. Now this is the final order. Now you're ordering all those furnishings through accounts that have a greater discount than you would be able to get on your own. So you're making a ton more money. And what are the other benefits of joining the Designers Collaborative? Because you guys offer so many benefits that I was all over your website. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to leave it up to you to let everyone know.
Yeah, and we do a lot, and we keep growing. We keep offering new things. So yeah, the price point is definitely the reason that people join. But then the reason they really love it and stick around is the ability to have creative freedom. So if you just want one lamp from that one company and it's like the perfect lamp and you don't want to have to, but that lamp, might cost $300, but they need an opening order of $2,000. And, what are you going to do? So this gives you the opportunity to just buy the one lamp and the one chair and, from all of these different companies. And you don't have to open your own orders and accounts and all of that. So that is really powerful. And it's been sort of almost too much. So what we do is we have these tools, which actually we decided to sell. So if you are a member, you get all of these things for free. But if you work for someone else, whatever your deal is, and you don't want to be a member, you can just buy these different tools now on our website on the shop page. So the Ultimate Source Guide gives you price point and style. So you're not wasting your time and not knowing that this sofa is going to come out 3 times what your budget is, but it has the right look. So don't even look at that company. Like, this spreadsheet shows you exactly what it is that you should be looking at. So you're saving time and probably discovering a lot of new companies you didn't even know existed. And then the other thing is the community and the education stuff. Last night we had Mastermind and we were talking, when was the last time you gave yourself a raise? So it was great discussion. And, we do those once a month. We have lots of educational videos. So if I go on YouTube and I see a cool one where, they're making a chair, I share that in our private Facebook group. We always get, does anyone know where this table is from? And who has I saw this, but does anyone do it for less? So those discussions are every day, constant. And everyone is so helpful and giving with their time and their knowledge and experience. We also have people who say, I created this budget list that goes through every room in the house in good, better, and best pricing. I think people would like this. Should I share it? Yes. Yes, share that, so that we have a folder of those kind of things. It's just so good.
You know what? It's amazing because in my group where we're streaming now, the Interior Design Business Forum, there's so many questions every day. Where can I find this table? Where can I find this chair? And listen, we're the Interior Design Business Forum. I teach you how to be a more profitable business, have a balanced life, charge your worth, and all the things that go along with that, marketing, sales, and all that stuff. And when I see all those questions, sometimes I think, go join the Designers Collaborative, right? Because that's not something that I do, is tell people where to get things. But you guys do, right? So, and everyone helps each other. And in my group, everyone's helping each other, and I love it. But yeah, start to migrate over to the Designers Collaborative, join the Designers Collaborative, and get that support you need on the sourcing. Now, we have a good question. It's from Beatrice. Even though it just says Facebook user, that's because we're using BeLive and that's what it does. But Beatrice, I don't know if you just showed up now, but you may want to go back to the beginning and listen as well later. But let's address this. If you're a newer designer, how do you sell the more expensive couch when the client asks to sit on it and about the quality?
You need to be the salesperson that knows your stuff. And you know your stuff by going to High Point and sitting on the different vendors and saying, okay, well, at this vendor, I loved the look of it, but I felt like the pitch of the back was too far, so that, I'm Mary Tyler Moore, where my feet don't touch the ground. Right. This isn't going to be comfortable for everyone. But this other vendor, I sat on every single thing and they had everything just right. So this, I feel totally safe selling to someone, and I know it's going to be comfortable. And then you do a deep dive into like, okay, so this is the company that it's going to be my go-to for this price point. And I'm going to learn everything I can about, the cushion that I like and this kind of thing. So it does take time. Our Facebook group is great for those kind of questions where somebody says, I love the look of Tove, right? But what's the quality like? And then everyone chimes in, well, it's okay for staging, don't put it in the living room. So you can learn a lot from the group. And I do a lot of educational stuff too.
Yeah, and I also think as a beginner designer, you may not have been to Point yet, or any of the design
Right.
markets. And these are things that you will be able to do in the future, but you may not be able to do it right now. If you're in with clients who only want to sit on everything, then yes, you have to accommodate and shop local, like we said in the beginning, and not take that sale away from the showroom or the store that helped you. However, as you get more experience, like Heather's saying, and going to the markets and understanding the quality and how furnishings are made, by being educated through the Designers Collaborative, you're going to feel more confident. Like, oh, you're a very tall family. These couches are made deep purposely for families like yours. And I've sat on them and they're fabulous, right? It's getting those sales skills up to the level where when someone trusts you, they're going to buy from you.
Absolutely. Yeah. My clients tend to not want to go to the store for time reasons, and they get overwhelmed because there's so much, you know. They really like it when I bring them, you know, these are your 3 top choices. I like this company for these reasons. You know, it's in the price point you're looking for. And now you're the expert who is guiding them through this giant maze, because there are a million companies out there and it's so easy to get overwhelmed.
Yes. And I do advise designers when they're coaching with me to not have 15 companies for every type of furnishing you're looking for. Get your top 3 to 4 companies that you go to for, like you're saying, sofas in this price point, lamps in this style. Like, create your spreadsheets to match your go-to vendors for certain styles. And yes, when you come across a new style you're going to need a new vendor. And when you're in the Designers Collaborative, you'll be able to go in that group and say, who do you guys use for? And everyone's going to chime in, and they're going to know it's a vendor that they have access to through your buying group.
Yeah.
I love this. Okay. So, and I love everything about this. Okay. So Michelle is asking, is there a way to see the entire list of manufacturers you have to offer before you join?
I can email it for you. It's not on our website.
Okay, so I would see why you would keep that private until someone actually joins, but you're saying if someone one-on-one requests it, you're able to show them.
Yes, we have just, you know, it's just a list of names of vendors. It's not all the information.
Okay, it's not all the information about how much of a discount you get depending.
Right, or someone's password, because sometimes, you know, that's how you price something, is by going to their website. You don't get that stuff unless you remember.
Okay, all right. So, and she loves the advice of selecting your go-to vendors. I think that's really key, because again, when I hear it takes 10 hours to source 2 pieces of furniture, I go, you're doing something like that needs to be corrected, because that's too much time and that's too much profit that you're running into if you're taking out.
You know, probably the newbie who doesn't know a lot of vendors are going to have to do that first exploratory to find their go-tos.
Yes, definitely. And if you're part of my group, you ask a question, you get a ton of different answers. Your group is even more concentrated with people who are specifically focused on sourcing and where are the best places to source for their jobs. We're not looking to chase the discount. We're just looking to say, when you choose something, let's maximize your discount.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Because we don't sell coffee. It's not the thing that you need every single day. You know, oh, I need another cup. You get a couple jobs and you got to make the most out of every single job. So if you're only making 10 to 20%, then you're not making the most on that job. And when it gets a little lean, you know, that whole roller coaster, you might have trouble down the road. But if you're making, you know, 50 to 70% with us, then you've got some serious money to invest in suddenly your marketing and a business coach and all the other things that build your business and bring you to that next level.
Absolutely. Okay, so they join the Designers Collaborative. They get access to a spreadsheet of manufacturers where they get the maximum discount that can be provided through another designer's account, which is normally stocking dealer prices. They get this Facebook group that allows them to ask very specific sourcing questions where everybody helps them. They get the monthly mastermind, which is just a bunch of designers who are talking about their businesses and sourcing and how what's they're doing that's successful and what's not working, and they get to share all that information. What else do they get?
We have meetups, like, you know, when we go to High Point and you're going for the first time, you could tag along with somebody who's been there a few times and then, you know, head off in your own direction and discover things. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great things. We have a lot of educational stuff because when people come in at different levels, they maybe have never written a purchase order before. Well, when we sign you up, we have set up in a software this automated emails. So I think there might be 10 in the series now, where instead of overwhelming you immediately with here's all the information, we give you little pieces of teaching you about different things. So there's a lot of that. I do a lot of educational videos that show you how to do things, talk about, you know, when you don't have a showroom, but you want to sell the product. I have a video on that. I have you know, where I go through and do as much education as possible. And then we also started something called a mentorship. So we have picked 4 different members who have been there from almost the beginning, a few of them from the very beginning, nice. Who, you know, you would pay them to spend an hour with you to write your first purchase order. Or like, I'm doing a sectional and it's left hand or right hand, you know, there's so many little details. And if you really want someone to hold your hand through that process and teach you exactly what it is that you need to do, we have now introduced that because it was missing. There, I could show you a video, I could give you a PDF of don't forget to do this, this, and this, but there's nothing like having somebody say, okay, so I've been doing this for 25 years and here's how, you know, and always make sure that you do that, you know, and they're doing it with you.
Love that. So, talk about your buyer's protection, which I thought was really interesting. And you don't call it buyer's protection, but you have a safety net.
We do. It's we created an emergency fund, which we have not had to use, but I felt it was important to introduce. So we take 5% and put it into an account that is just the emergency fund. So profit first, you create the account and you put the money in there, and then it's, you know, God forbid we ever needed it, it's there. So the emergency fund is for a member who gives an account holder in our group money for an order, and then they don't place that order. If they give you the runaround and they're not doing what they should, because we have rules, everyone signed a contract that says you're going to do it in this amount of time and this is how it goes. And if you don't follow those rules, you know, you're kicked out. But what happens to the member who lost money if that ever happens? We have this emergency fund.
Have you ever had to use that?
No, we've never had to use this.
That's wonderful.
But I hear from other people who, you know, I was in this Facebook group and I asked, does anyone have an account with Theodore Alexander? And I ordered it from a girl who is a designer in my town, and she has not provided the furniture, and it's been a year and she's not getting her money back.
Yep. I had that situation just last week in my group. Somebody reached out and said they had made a post that they were looking for a piece of furniture. Did anyone have an account? Somebody responded. And again, what happens in my group is not being watched every single step of every day by me. And I guess somebody private messaged them like, I have an account and I can order that for you. And then was dragging their feet a little bit. So it was a bit of a situation, and then wanting me to get involved. And I'm like, they actually didn't want me to get involved. They were just informing me. And I thought, yeah, that's not okay. And that's why the Designers Collaborative makes sense. If somebody is looking to buy through other accounts that they don't have personally, get it with the protection that you guys offer and with the rules. Like you're saying, a professional buying group is so much different from someone just doing you a favor.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a world of difference. There's all kinds of structure. On top of the spreadsheet, you have all of the, it's either a sign-in for a website to price things, or the PDF price list where, item number 47, you scan the list, there's the price. You see the price with your own eyes and price it with your own eyes. It's not an email of, can you price this for me? Right? And then you're trusting someone to be giving you the correct information. How do you know they're not marking it up and telling you this is stocking dealer? You don't know.
Right.
In our group, because you see it with your own eyes. You're doing your own pricing.
Okay. All right. Other benefits. So you have sort of a buyer's protection emergency fund. You have rules for the people who are sharing their resources. They can join. If you have a resource, you are a designer who has accounts that you would like to share, you can join after being vetted. If you're a designer who doesn't have accounts, you can join and buy from other people's accounts. You have the Facebook group, the monthly mastermind. I know you give discounts to some of my programs and other business coaches.
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
there's coaching rebates. Yep.
That's huge. I was just looking on your website. I'm like, wow. So yeah, if somebody wants to buy my course and they buy it through the Designers Collaborative, they're actually getting a rebate back on my course.
Yep. It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. All right. Anything we didn't cover?
Well, if you're an account holder, okay, so out of 300 members, we have about 50 account holders. So most people that join don't have accounts, but those who do, we set them up as long as you have the best price point and you're reliable. There are some people who have tried to be account holders and then they realize, I'm too busy, I can't keep up with this. So that's cool. You don't need to do it. Someone else will step in. So some of the benefits of being an account holder are, you're a bigger fish to that vendor. So you're keeping your minimum where it needs to be for the year, because most of them are $20,000 to $50,000 a year in product sales from just that one vendor. Very difficult to do on your own. So you're keeping them very happy because they've got plenty of orders from you.
So it's your account and you have a $20,000 a year minimum to maintain in order to maintain that account at the best prices. You now have the ability to do that without straining yourself and trying to find things to buy.
So easy. Yes.
So easy. Love that.
And we're unlocking discounts we didn't know existed because we've had so many orders that their sales rep says, hey, Elizabeth, by the way, you just qualified for this better price point. And she's like, oh, okay, cool. Because now Elizabeth gets the better price point and so do we. So it's been amazing. And then if you there's a couple that are on our wish list that we would love to have. Baker. I would love to have Baker. We don't have that one yet. We will. We absolutely will. It's totally on my to-do list. So one of these days we'll have it.
So if a designer who's listening has an account with Baker,
that's right,
and they join the Designers Collaborative, then they share their Baker account with the 300 and growing group of designers already part of the Designers Collaborative, and now they basically have a guarantee they'll never have making a minimum issue ever again. Plus, they're going to make 10% of every order that somebody purchases through their company.
Correct.
With a minimum
10%. It's okay. So let me just also say it's 10% or a minimum of $50. So you buy a $300 lamp, your admin fee is $50 because it's just fair. It can take 2 hours to process an order. So if anyone's charging $25 an hour as a designer, you need to rework that.
Yeah, please don't. Right.
Yeah. And the account holder is going to deal with any damages or any other issues that come up. They do a lot for everyone. They order samples for you. So the $50 is really that's the lowest we can do an order for. But there are times when that admin fees that you're getting for that month help you pay your bills because you only had a couple consultations and it didn't add up to much, because you have feast and famine. Right. So as an account holder, I've had people say, I'm so grateful that this group exists because I don't know what I would do, last month if I didn't have the admin fees.
Definitely. It's good for a little passive income, so to speak. It's not so passive. They still have to do some work, but it's not like they have to get a new client on their own. So Peggy's asking, how does the freight and delivery charges work?
Same as usual. So, you know, a lot of times the freight comes through once it's shipping. So then you get the bill from whoever, Sunbelt, whatever company, and they send you an email with, you know, the bill.
So the designer whose account it is the one getting the bill, and they're forwarding it to the designer who was
Yes,
purchasing.
and there's no upcharge on freight. You know, so we send you the bill, you pay the bill, we pay the freight, and it's done.
So Peggy, I'm going to say what I tell all my clients. In this day and age, it's smart to just add a standard percentage for shipping and freight and delivery, even storage sometimes, to calculate based on past clients, because it's so hard to guess what delivery is going to be, right? Freight and delivery and storage. But if you can create a standard percentage on average of what it's costing, I would just implement that to your client, the end user, the homeowner, and then whatever it is, sometimes you'll gain a little bit, sometimes you'll lose a little bit, but on average, it's going to average out to make sure you're covered. Because like Heather's saying, it's the same as when you're ordering from anywhere else. But I know that Peggy orders sometimes from a showroom who does exactly what I'm saying. They just add a certain percentage so the designer always knows what to estimate.
Yeah.
So
20% is usually about right.
I know it used to be 15, but it's definitely going up to 20.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Right.
And Melissa is saying this is just genius. Thank you. See, that's what I think, which is why I'm so happy you're one of our sponsors, because I recommend this to all my clients, whether they're seasoned or not. If they don't have accounts with everyone they want to have accounts with, because they're going to be more likely to be able to purchase with stocking dealer prices if they are if they're part of a buying group, a professional buying group like yours. So
right, yeah, and we'll get new accounts too, because the group will say, I think the last one was Eloquence. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, Eloquence," and I had never heard of them before. So I'm like, I constantly learn new companies, and it's gorgeous stuff. So then, you know, somebody's like, "Well, I have an order that's $2,000, but in order to get the, you know, first order going, I need another, you know, couple orders to pad it, because $5,000 is your minimum order to get an account." So, you know, 3 designers chime in. I got an order. I got an order. I got an order. And then we got the account at Stocking Dealer.
Right. So, right. Let me just answer Michelle here. I think this was Michelle. 20% with storage too. That depends on where you're located, Michelle. We have to, you kind of have to, right. You have to price your storage, how many months you think. There are clients of mine who always know their stuff's in storage between 6 and 8 months, and they're able to calculate. Others are 1 or 2 months because it's a faster turnaround. So that is going to depend on how much your storage facility charges you, and on average, how long you think it's going to be charged. So I would say storage might be a little bit different, not like freight and delivery. Okay, so anything we have not covered, and I want you to, of course, tell everyone, how do they join? Tell them how.
Oh, okay. Yes. So we have a website, thedesignerscollaborative.com. And you can, you know, learn a lot more about us on there. Explore the website. We have a shop page. So if you didn't want to join and you just want the products that I talked about, the different, you know, items, you can just buy those. But it makes sense to buy the membership because you get all of those things for free. So there's an apply now button. I think that's what it says. Apply now. Join now. Join now. It says join now. I don't remember. But it's all over the website. So you
join us. Join us.
Join us. There you go. So join us button takes you to a page that says the 3 steps. You know, apply. We're going to vet you. You'll get an invoice. Then you're in. So you fill out all your information. You give us as much information as you can. So if you don't have a website, say so. Say, I'm working on it. You know, I can send you some things that show what I've done so far, you know, and maybe it's a camera phone picture, whatever. Show me something. Then you upload your resale certificate to that. We get an email on our back end. We vet you. If you pass the test, you're going to get an invoice for the year. And once you pay that, we enter you into our private Facebook group and our Google Drive where all of the magic happens. And you get that whole series of educational videos and other things too.
I also want to mention that you give a list of, what was it? You give everyone who joins a list of.
We have a free giveaway, the
Wait.
Good, Better, Best list.
Well, but you had one other thing, the Good, Better, Best list. I love. I have one of them in my membership site too. However, I always tell everyone, you always want to make sure you check it against your area, your local area, and your clientele, right? Because it can be different. In New York is going to be very different from, let's say, Pennsylvania, right? So you want to always, but this was it. The receiving and delivery warehouses. Everyone's always looking for receiving and delivery warehouses, and you provide a list for everyone who joins, or they can purchase it on their own.
Yes.
Fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely fabulous. Okay. So again, Heather and Tracy, the founders of, it used to be called Collaborate to Win. It is now called the Designers Collaborative, a great rebranding. I recommend this to all my clients in order to maximize their profit on furniture they are buying when they are not using a physical showroom or a store. So to join, go to the Designers Collaborative. And I want to thank Heather and Tracy for being sponsors of this group, the Interior Design Business Forum, and of me and my business. I appreciate that. And they will be going live once a month with me in this group and on my business page to answer your questions about purchasing and about their group. So if you have any questions, post them here so we'll know for next month what you need to know from us and what you need to know from Heather and Tracy. Anything we missed, Heather?
No, I think we covered a lot. So
we did cover a lot, and we'll be covering a lot again next month. And maybe next month we go into a little bit of a lesson on how to organize their buying, because I think that is a big deal for people. And you do that a lot in your private Facebook group that are for members.
Mm-hmm.
So again, join the Designers Collaborative, and I will see you next month, Heather.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great day.